If you take an MP3 file, it's like 40 meg, okay? Let's just say it's this big is the song. Using mathematics, you can shrink it down to only 10%. Now, you may not think that's so amazing, but the rest of the fucking world does, okay? Because MP3s are the shit. Now, that's called lossy compression, where you actually lose information, but what's fascinating is our brain can't hear certain sounds. For instance, let's say there's 3 sounds, you know, there's, I don't know, an oboe and a loud voice and something else. The loudest sound gets heard, but the other 2 don't get heard. So what MP3 technology does is it removes these 2 and says, fuck you to the music industry. Compresses it down. That's just one example of using, you know, mathematics. You just remove the weakest sounds. Keep the loudest ones, because our brain doesn't hear the difference anyway. Isn't that brilliant? The guy who came up with that, fucking millionaire. And now the entire music industry has gone tits up because of it. Well, that's called lossy. Well, there's something else called lossless compression, where you can compress information down, where when you decompress it, there's no loss of information. Then there's also encryption, where you can take the information, you can shrink it down, but you can also put a weird like code into it so that no one can read what it is. They don't know whether it's music, whether it's audio, whether it's audio or video, whether it's text file. They have no clue what it is, because it is so mishmashed. But the guy on the other end can decrypt it with a code and read it. But these kids are always coming up with ways to get in, and then they're selling it. Isn't that amazing that this is happening right now, and I'm in the midst of this? I feel like I'm this uber hacker trying to stay one step ahead of these guys, and I feel like a crook just like them, because I got to figure out ways to cheat the systems. You know? Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not sitting in a, you know, I just want to paint a picture for you. I'm not sitting in some big room with electronics all around me or anything, man. I'm sitting on my fucking leather couch with the cutest little laptop. It's this big. No wires, nothing. And I'm working from there. And that's all I got to do. And I only have to work 3-4 hours a day.
I usually go to the coffee shop and take my laptop
Yeah.
and work there.
Nice. But isn't it, so you can already start painting a picture of who you are, making it interesting, leading her into you know, what's fascinating about computers, you know, without getting into the details of it, because their eyes will roll in the back of their head. And in fact, you don't want to say the word computer. Don't say programmer. These are scary, stereotypical words. Encryptor's kind of neat, you know. You know, to say that I keep people out of the pie. They go, what? Well, here's the pie. Pi, 3.14159. See how there's a pattern? I keep people out of the pie. I keep them from knowing what the pattern is. Really, what do you mean? And you start leading into it, you see? The question begs another question, begs another question. It makes them start asking, I don't get it. Wait a sec. What are you saying here? And then you can add in, like what Chris does. He adds in a couple magic tricks to explain his point. And they're like, oh, my God, that is fascinating, you know? Where you could even do the 3 and 7. Like, for instance, there's patterns everywhere. Think of a number from 1 to 4. The first number that pops in your head. You got it? Okay. Obviously, there's no way for me to get that information out of your head, right? But what if there were certain patterns in nature that I could be aware of? 3. Yeah? See? There are patterns in nature, and you can recognize these patterns over time, and I have to stay one step ahead. So basically what he does, he makes it less computer jargon and more nature jargon. Because computers are ultimately nature. Math is nature. Code is nature. I can go one step further. I'll tell you one more story. A human being, you are not your material. Just like Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again is not the CD. It's the same song, whether it's in CD form, whether it's written in ones and zeros on a piece of paper, whether it's on a hard drive in magnetic form, whether it's on a tape. It doesn't matter what the medium is, the media in which it is stored. The song is not the media. The song is the information, the actual coding. The media is needed to store the information. Otherwise, because no media, you can't store it, right? Or it could even be sound waves, Hell, it could be light waves. You know, oops, I did it again, out on a laser beam. You know, and there it is, shooting out this laser beam, ones and zeros, right, ons and offs, shooting out into space, and oops, I did it again is going off into space. You know, radio waves, they're still going out. You know, oops, I did it again came out, what, 99 or something? So that's been, you know, 6 years. 6 years, that's 6 light years away. This information is leaving the Earth. It's already 6 light years away. Well, here's what I find fascinating. You are not your matter. You are the pattern of the way the matter is put together. In other words, the media is the matter. But if I take all this matter and I put it up in a blender and put it out, that's no longer you. Okay? You, your soul, your spirit, who you are, your identity, is the way you're put together. And we know that for a fact because every 7 years, all this material leaves, you know. As you shed your skin, you get new skin 7 years from now. Hey, man, your hair grows. All the water is no longer, you know, in you, even a week later. You are renewed, and yet you're still you. So it's not the media, but the pattern that makes you who you are. In other words, what I'm trying to say to you is, you are a song. Now, if only I could come up with a way of MP3ing you. I'll work it out. And so that's another one of the little pieces. And it just fucks with their head, you know? Bullshit baffles brains, right? How could I compress you as a song? Girls love this shit. Because it's like, wow, you know? Oh, man. You know? You are a song. And that story I start with, you know what I've been thinking about today? You are a song. What? Okay, figure this out. And then you go off into the story. You just use it as an opener today. Within context of being a programmer, being an encryptor, he can throw that piece in, and he becomes nature-oriented. You know, where he says math is nature. It's understanding and recognizing patterns in nature. That's all it is.